Virtual Ag Expo. On the way to work here this morning, I walked by this field and I saw all these stalks. What do you suppose those stalks are? They have pods on them, right? Okay, they must be soybeans, right? Yeah, this is what's left of a soybean plant from last year. And that's what the presentation is going to be, is about soybeans. But I thought I'd get your attention by doing a couple experiments with soybeans that you can do at home. That's the first one you can do at home. So I'm just going to take some water, and I'm going to put the water in this tray, and I'm going to put some pepper on top of it. You can do this at home, no problem. And then I'm going to take some dish soap, and I'm going to take that dish soap, and I'm going to put a drop of it right in the center. And magic, all the pepper goes to the side. What I really did is I broke the surface tension. There's a surface tension web of water molecules, and the pepper was riding on that web of surface tension molecules of water. And when I dropped the soap in, the soap broke the surface tension. Now, you probably think of surface tension, something that might be easier to understand, is a water strider. You see them in ponds and creeks, and they walk on water. You can't walk on water, but they can. But if you drop some soap into the river or stream, the water strider sinks. So let me show you. That's one thing I was going to show you. The second one you might not be able to do at home, but there's a product from soybeans called Soymilk. And instead of using a cow to get the milk, you get the milk from soybeans. So I'm going to pour some soy milk into this container, and I'm going to take just a little bit of food coloring, and I'm going to put that food coloring right in the center, like that, and enter a product called lecithin. It's made from soybeans. It's sold in health food stores. And lecithin helps you digest your food, especially for prepared foods. It emulsifies the foods so you can digest them. So here's some of that lecithin. And you got to think now, the soy milk also has surface tension. It has the molecules of soy milk are holding hands with each other, and they're making a web, a surface tension web. Now I'm going to put a little bit of lecithin right here in the center. And you can see what happens. It makes a nice little pretty design there. The lecithin broke the surface tension of the soy milk, and it allows then the food coloring to go out to the side. So surface tension is kind of a cool idea. If you want to take that one step farther, you say, well, where do you use lecithin normally? Well, you know, two products. There's cocoa, and then there's Nesquik. Old people like to make cocoa with this kind of cocoa, okay? And younger people would rather just use Nesquik. Well, there's a reason why. When I pour water into the Nesquik and stir it up, it instantly dissolves, and then you can have a little treat. But with cocoa is a different source. Here you're going to have a stove, and you're going to have to heat the cocoa in order for it to break down. Okay, so you can see it's getting all scrungy inside. So cocoa doesn't have any lecithin in it, so you have to heat it on the stove and stir it, and you fry the pan up. But Nesquik, they put lecithin in the Nesquik, so it instantly dissolves, and you can have hot cocoa. You can go over to the sink and get hot water, and son of a gun, you have cocoa. Okay, well, if you buy into all that, welcome to the world of soybeans. I'm just going to make you think about soybeans now. I showed you the mature soybean plant with the pods, and now I'm going to say the farmers in the next month will be out planting soybean seeds in the field, like 2 inches deep. And the rains will come, and those soybean seeds will swell up, and they'll form a plant. So I have a soybean plant right here, compliments of Tom's Produce in Huntley. And you notice I pulled it up. You can see all the roots from the bottom. You can see the leaves on the top. You can even see a couple of little flowers forming. But what's most interesting is these things. You say, what are those things? That's what's left of the seed. They're called cotyledons. When these seeds swell up, they bust into two parts, and the cotyledons feed the plant as it's growing. Okay, so that's kind of the life cycle of a soybean. The flowers, of course, wherever you see a flower form, it's going to form a pod, okay? So here's the pod. Most of the pods have 3 seeds on the inside, okay? So I have, this one's pretty well done right there. So every pod has like 3 seeds. Now, you might wonder what the farmers do with those seeds. Well, in the fall, the leaves fall off the soybean plant, and you're left with this stalk. And along comes a farmer with a big machine called a combine, and he combines the soybeans. And what it does, there's a shaker in there that shakes the seeds out of the pods. And then the farmer puts them in a big semi, and he's really got a choice. He can send them into the big cities where they're converted to food products and non-food products, or they can take them down to the Illinois River and put them on barges and take them down to the southern part of the United States where it's made in, soybeans are made into animal food and human food as well. So that's kind of what farmers have to look at with that. If you look over here, the products of soybeans are many. I just mentioned a couple. I mentioned lecithin, I mentioned soy milk, but you can have margarine, you can have tofu, you can have edamame, you can have soy sauce, all kinds of things, soybean oil, a lot of uses for that. But by and large, the things that get most happy about soybeans are cows and pigs. Cows and pigs like to eat soybeans, crushed soybeans. Chickens do too. So soybeans are largely an animal feed, but we can also make human food out of them as well. So here you see a bunch of those products. And here's a whole list of different things that soybeans are in. The last thing that I'll make a point of is there's, you can make human food, but mostly it's animal feed that soybeans are used for. The other thing that soybeans are very useful for is making a chemical called biodiesel. And biodiesel is made from soybeans, and you can put it in a diesel engine and the engine will run, where diesel fuel is made from oil. And diesel fuel tends to be kind of polluting. It leaves a black smoke. You've been on the expressway, you see the big semis passing and then black smoke coming out. Well, you don't want to breathe too much of that black smoke because it goes deep in your lungs and you have emphysema and lung cancer, stuff like that. But we live in beautiful McHenry County. We only have a little bit of that. So they can make a fuel from soybeans called biodiesel that burns very clean. And what they do, they can't make enough of it, so what they do is they mix it with diesel fuel, and then the diesel fuel burns cleaner than what it did before. So it's good for the environment. So that's the story of soybeans. Have a nice day.